All right, challenge number 3, which is dear to my heart as it comes from mainly the SOC team.
Okay.
Well, we were talking about speed. We were talking about speed to prevention in our first challenge. We were talking about speed of operation and performance in our second one. Both of them very demanding environment that the SOC team need to balance. And the SOC team now come back and say, no, we feel that we're too slow. We're too slow in reacting, we're too slow to scale when something has happened, we have too much things going on. They basically look at you and say, is it even humanly possible that we will be able to catch up with everything?
Well, I think the simple answer is no.
It's not humanly possible.
It's not humanly possible. I think we measured log4j was spreading 50 times faster than samples we'd seen beforehand. And it was already fast enough. And so simply humans can't keep up. And so I think what customers are doing is really looking at a platform approach. We call it the fabric, Gartner call it the mesh. And instead of saying, well, let me take maybe 20 to 30 different security vendors and try and make them work together, which is sometimes very hard, is to say, let me take 4 to 5 platforms and make those work together. And the key about it is when you do that, you can then build automation. The key about building a platform, yes, there's some efficiencies and some cost savings and not training people across everything, but the end goal is automation. So if I see something, the system can respond automatically. If I have a vulnerability in an endpoint, I can tell my SD-WAN to reroute. I can tell my SOC analysis to apply some extra controls, for example. The automation is key long-term because they aren't going to get any slower.
Yes, so we were talking about being present in all of the places where you can collect the data, going back to platforms or working in an ecosystem that work together, being able to enforce it back in the location that is closest to the protected asset, detect early, build kind of a centralized knowledge base where everything works from, and this is the only way AI could be efficient in detecting on a cloud level. You obviously have AI and intelligence in the product, but if you want to understand flow that goes in your organization, the expectation is that you will be able to harvest data in a more common way.
Yeah, well again, it's no good finding something if you can't do anything about it. So yes, the AI is very important, and it's very important to look at those different attack vectors, but you need to be able to do something about it. You need to be able to prevent it and stop it. You need both across, again, the entire infrastructure.
And you need to do it faster than that.
And you need to do it faster.
Constantly faster. Okay, one last question is basically about purchasing. So going back to slowing down time to secure. We actually see organizations struggle with hybrid environment today and adoption of new technology to be able to get to a pricing model, a purchasing model that is actually easy for them. Do we help them also in this aspect?
We're going to try. Okay, so I think customers will be facing this hybrid environment for a long time, if not ever. And so traditionally endpoint has been, they use devices to measure and license. Networks, they use throughput. You know, a lot of the cloud solutions are by user. And so customers, it's very complex for a customer to take an end-to-end solution like Zero Trust, which is endpoint, policy, and cloud, and then say, well, what's the pricing point? So what we're doing is moving to what we call a per user-based pricing, which is pretty unique in the industry. We refer to it as FortiTrust, which allows us to take a pricing model and normalize it across the endpoint, the network, and the cloud into per user. And I think customers will like that. It'll be simplified and much easier for them to look at what they need in terms of a licensing perspective.